ask Michael Simmons out, hey, getting ready for our little uh, friends and family round of Prelude to Cinema with bringing aboard new shareholders. That's like October 21st. Want to talk a little bit about diversity in film, okay? I've been following some groups on the Facebook community, how some science fiction fans are responding, and some you know, white fans are responding to the diversity and things of like Star Trek and everything. And I'm thinking to myself, why are they so insecure? I mean, you have tons of, you know, white heroes, and everything, And so if you have that, then why would you be insecure if they introduce a hero that doesn't look like you? Now, growing up, I actually identify more with Peter Parker, you know, the white teenage guy who became Spider-Man, than the Black Panther. And I have nothing against the Black Panther. It's just that I grew up, you know, I think I was like a teenager when I first discovered Spider-Man, and I could relate to him. Although I wasn't as nerdy as Spider-Man, but I did have some issues at school and bullying and all that kind of stuff and everything because I'm short, and so people call you a chump. If they called you a chump, you fought. I mean, that was it. And sometimes I wish I had like superpowers to get rid of people, and wasn't exactly a ladies' man either, but nah, not really. But anyway, because I wasn't a nerd. Okay, I wasn't a nerd probably, but they didn't have the word nerd back then. But anyway, but the point is though, I could identify, even though Spider-Man was, white. I didn't have problems identifying with white heroes. I could put myself in their place and everything. And so, I could see myself as Spider-Man. Even though I was black boy, grew up in the ghetto. Although I did grow up in the ghetto, my father had a good job and um, worked for a Gateway trucking company. Then he worked for Ford and everything and stuff. Or he worked for Ford, he worked for Gateway, I forget. Anyway, um, we had good living. We were actually middle class. We're still probably middle class today. And like I said, one thing as far as um, growing up poor. Well, I wouldn't call it poor because we had the toys we want. We took trips and everything. We had clothes. We had a home. We never went hungry. I mean, I know some people who actually grew up and they actually went hungry, which goes back to Spider-Man. I know a couple times Spider-Man's struggling, and when he got out from being a teenager in the home, Spider-Man actually couldn't pay his rent sometimes. Spider-Man could, he didn't even have food to buy, which is why he had to set up the camera to take pictures of Spider-Man so he could send them to J. Jonah Jameson. And so I could relate to him, but I couldn't relate to the Black Panther, who was, a king. Although Black Panther looked like me, I wasn't related. I couldn't relate to him. So as far as diversity goes, I don't understand why you can't look at a hero that doesn't look like you, but not be able to relate to them. So if if you have if a white guy wants to, a white kid wants to be Black Panther, they can be Black Panther. If a black kid wants to be Captain America, they can be Captain America. So it just becomes a mindset of not being so insecure. And people have gotten so nasty on social media that created somebody working on, like we need another thing to do, working on creating our own little social media platform, but we want to do it a little bit differently, and I'm not giving you all the details of it because it's a secret, but I finally got a chance to see a social network. I just like movies I haven't seen in movies I'm supposed to see but I haven't seen. Okay, but anyway, I'm gonna quit saying too, or take a drink every time I say. Sorry. Okay, but we want to create a place that's where people can still have discussions and maybe argue with each other, but they can feel safe and there's no trolls and stuff because there's definitely a need for that. So my brother who led a team at Google, who's smart, who speaks Cody, who coding is like when you say a web page, and if you do view source, you see all these thousand lines of code My brother's one of the guys who writes those 1,000 lines of code and everything, and so he has a company, and we're gonna get him involved. And he has some other companies here, some local people and stuff, because he's in California. So we want to create a place where people can actually talk and discuss things, and of course we have to monetize it because it is a business. Anyway, but I just want to speak about the diversity and tell people to stop being so insecure. I mean, uh, a hero that doesn't look like you shouldn't threaten you. You shouldn't need to have every hero also look like you to relate to them, okay? All right? And there we go. All right, Alex Michaels, Kevin Simmons. Remember, there are no small movies, only